My name is Stacy Nichols, and I'm your host today. And I know y'all are ready to compete, win, and grow with contract opportunities. So we're going to have this discussion today. And since we're a small group, don't be shy. If you have a question, just speak up. Let me know what your questions are, and I'm here to assist the best way I can. So who is this webinar for? If you are an entrepreneur or small business owner and you want more education on the bid process, you're in the right place. If you are a business owner who wants access to consistent revenue streams through contracts, but maybe you feel a little bit overwhelmed with all the paperwork, jargon, and requirements, this is the right place. Also, if your business happens to be certified disadvantaged business enterprise, women's business enterprise, or a historically underutilized business, and you're looking for bid opportunities with governments, private corporations, and nonprofits, and you want to grow your business through contracting and target those set-aside contracts, this is the right place. So even if you are an aspiring entrepreneur and you just want more information on what you need to do, you're in the right place. So once again, I'm going to say it a million times. Thanks for joining, because I know it may be lunchtime or after. So this is a tricky hour. But my name again is Stacy Nichols, and I'm the founder and senior advisor of Total Optum Solutions. We are a procurement and supply chain consulting firm. And I have 20 years of procurement expertise, and I'm leveraging that procurement expertise to now support small businesses in educating them on the bidding process and finding the right contract opportunities. Really, my goal is to help small businesses compete, win, and grow. I sat on the opposite side of the table where I was the one issuing the RFPs and the bids and evaluating them. And now I have the unique experience of being a business owner. So I'm also myself submitting bids and trying to win contracts. So I have both sides of the coin to share with you guys. So let's just jump right into it. And I'm going to be asking y'all a lot if y'all have questions, and everybody's off mute, so don't be shy. But I want to talk about the benefits of bidding, because when I started my business, I just started my business in 2024. Okay, so I was in corporate America for many decades. Then I left corporate America, pivoted, opened up this business, and I was just floundering, trying to figure out, how do I gain clients for my consulting business? And so what I did is I cold called, I bought email lists. I even paid an agency to send me salespeople, which that was a disaster. I posted on social media. I did network marketing. I did everything that the marketers told me to do. But where I found success is bidding. So I saw some opportunities online with a nonprofit, and they were looking for someone to help them stand up their procurement organization. So I submitted my proposal, got an interview, and I won the bid. And so that's how I obtained my first client, is through bidding and just responding to a direct demand for my services. But there are other benefits of bidding. Contracts create reliable revenue streams. So I started my business in March of 2024. And by August of 2024, I had a contract. And that contract just ended this past May. So it's a reliable revenue stream, and it can lead to multi-year agreements and predictable income, and not just one-off projects that you may get with a one-off client. Bidding also expands your reach beyond referrals, just like I was saying. Referrals help, because I'm getting referrals now based on the work I did for the nonprofit. But referrals help, but bidding also puts your business in front of new buyers you never reach through word of mouth alone, or posting on social media, or reaching out on LinkedIn. So bidding, again, is a direct response to a demand for your products or services. Also, government and corporate buyers rely on formal bidding. If that agency, that company, that institution is funded by any type of tax dollars, typically they are required to publicly solicit their RFPs, their RFQs, their bids. And so that information is available to you. and you can go out and you can look for any type of bids that you are qualified for. And so since most agencies and large companies are required to source vendors through competitive procurement, that's an easy way for you to respond to those requests. Also, certifications unlock exclusive opportunities. So as I was mentioning before, if your business is certified as a disadvantaged business, woman-owned business, minority-owned business, veteran-owned business, they actually have contracts that they earmark just for those types of businesses because they want to diversify their supplier base. They want to give contracts to struggling or small businesses that may not have had an opportunity to compete with some larger companies. So, and I just a note, I've highlighted some acronyms in green, and if you don't know what they are, I'm happy to explain what they are. But those are some acronyms that you need to know if you want to get into federal contracting, state, local, or even private corporations. So that definitely benefits of bidding. It's just another tool in your toolkit. Definitely continue to do your marketing, continue to post on social media, continue to promote your business and do networking. But bidding, again, is a direct response to a demand for your products and services. So why not meet the demand? Just like I was mentioning before, just 5 months after launching my business, I landed a contract, and I did it through a proposal. And I later found out that I was up against two very large organizations. So I was actually shocked that I won the bid, but you just never know what the outcome will be. As a buyer, I've seen companies, what we call underdogs, beat out some of the big boys. So I was in a meeting where this large transportation company was looking for a consultant to do some organizational assessment. And Deloitte was there, Boston Consulting Group was there, EY was there. EY was even their incumbent supplier. And so I thought, well, there's no way a small business is going to be able to meet this unless they subcontract with a larger business. And as I was following the whole process, the whole RFP, I saw that a smaller, lesser known firm actually won that bid. And because it's public, they had to put the award amount. It was $650,000 over 2 years. Now, this company probably had about 15 employees, but think about that compared to an EY, a Boston Consulting Group. So you have an opportunity, you have a shot, you just have to take that shot. And I know that's nice and that's great for me. Yay, me. Great for that smaller organization. But you probably dialed in here because you say, yeah, that's nice, but where do I start? Where do I start for my business getting into bidding? And so that's what we're going to talk about today. I just want you to ask yourself these questions. I think these are going to be the important starting points if you're ready to start bidding. And this applies whether you want to bid for government contracts, if you want to bid for local, state. I live in the state of Texas, and they are very active as far as promoting small businesses. Whatever state you're in, most states have a small business office that they want to promote their own local businesses. So whether you're going to go that route, you're going to go the federal route, you're going to go the private corporations route, or even nonprofit, these are some things that you need to make sure that you have in order to start successfully bidding. And again, if y'all have any questions, just chime in or put the questions in the chat and I'll stop and answer those questions. So first thing you need.
Question. I'm
sure,
sorry.
Go ahead.
So, I have a remote online notary business. And I saw with the certifying as one of the different groups that you have to, I guess, be in business for 2 years. Is that correct? Or because I'm getting kind of different information about that.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tips. See you next time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget.
Or a particular agency might want you to be in business for 2 years. But in order to be certified, I got certified a month after I started my company.
Wow. Okay.
So you just have to go through a certifying agency. So the Small Business Association can definitely help you with getting certifications. I personally went through WBENC, and that's the Women's Business Enterprise National Council. It was a lot of information that I had to provide. And because I had not been in business for more than 2 years, I had to provide my personal tax information. Because, yeah, what they want to do is make sure that if you say you're a woman-owned business or a minority-owned business, that you really are.
Okay, and that's kind of where I got thrown off because I'm like, okay, I didn't think about my because I have a full-time job too, but I'm trying to, Lord say the same. I'm trying to I work for the Federal Reserve and I work from home, and you know what's going on with them right now. So, yeah.
You're trying to get your side hustle to be your main hustle.
Yes, ma'am. ASAP.
So yeah, you don't have to wait. In fact, what's your name? If you don't mind.
Jaquecia Vincent. I had to take you off mute. Jaquecia Vincent.
Thank you, Miss Vincent. So yeah, we can definitely help you get the certifications and point you in the right direction because you don't have to wait. Go ahead and get those certifications so you can start bidding on stuff specifically for small businesses, woman-owned businesses, and I'm going to assume minority-owned business too. So
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, make sure that you definitely pursue that. That's the first thing I would recommend.
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, and just like, Ms. Vincent said, you want to make sure your business is properly registered. And so you want to have a formal structure. So when I think about a remote notary, you can be a sole proprietor, you can be LLC, S Corp, probably not there yet, but I don't know. I don't know. So, you can get your business formally registered through your state. And then you can also request a EIN, which is an employee identification number through the IRS, irs.gov. Just search EIN. They typically send it to you the same day. Also, if you want to start pursuing those federal contracts, you need to go to sam.gov and request a UEI, which is a unique entity identification number. And that's just like a vendor number or your record number with the government. And so that was a little bit of a process as well, trying to get registered with sam.gov. A lot of people make it seem like it's a 3-month, 4-month process. I got registered in 2 weeks because I was very diligent and I was not afraid to call and ask for help. So I actually called the federal government, and because they kept flagging me for my address. So I work from home, but I have a virtual office and they don't allow virtual offices. So once I got that flushed out, they sent me my UEI, and I'm able to go in and not only look at the federal bids that they have available, but post on them as well. And then you can get the DUNS number. DUNS number, the federal government no longer uses DUNS, but some state and local agencies, they still may request your DUNS number. And you can go to duns.com. I always forget what DUNS mean, but you can always go to DUNS and get your DUNS number in probably 5 minutes. Let's see. DUNS is Data Universal Numbering System. And if you ever heard of Dun & Bradstreet, where they kind of keep a record of a company's performance, they're the people that issue it, and you can request that DUNS number and get it in the same day. Also, make sure you carry the right insurance coverage. Now, I look at hundreds of bids a week, and all of them typically want you to have minimal insurance coverage because they're trying to protect themselves and protect you. So you have to ask yourself, do you have general liability? Typically, they're going to ask for $1 million. Even as a consultant, I have to have $1 million of coverage. But you got to realize it only costs me probably $20, $30 a month. Also, you're probably going to need auto insurance. You're going to need E&O, which is emissions and errors. So if you're a consultant, you need to protect yourself. Any information that you're receiving or you're giving and you're providing to your clients, that you don't want them to come back and sue you and say, well, they misled me, so I'm going to sue them. Well, that E&O coverage will cover you for that. I think definitely notaries have to have some E&O insurance, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I just increased mine to 100,000.
Okay, there you go. And then some organizations now are requiring cyber insurance. So cyber insurance not only protects the company and you if there's some type of breach or hack, or if someone tries to, hijack their information. So they are requiring cyber insurance. My advice there is just talk to a an agent and see what all types of insurances are required. My advice is to get the insurance before you start to bid, because you don't want to be scrambling and you miss a deadline. Also, have a professional online presence. Now I'm going to put my buyer hat on. As a buyer, where I was out actually looking for small businesses, I was looking for organizations to support my clients. That's the first thing I would do, is go to their website. And if their website is, URL not found, or if it's, broken links, or the website is looking weird or not professional, it kind of turned me off. And I didn't want to recommend that small business to my client. So having a professional online presence is very important. You can get a cheap AI-made website, for $10, $20 a month. But just think about the return on that if you're able to win a bid because someone saw. People do compliment my website a lot. I just, it's just a professional website that I copied from another bigger organization. So having that, making sure it's clear, current, and professional really does go a long way when companies are trying to vet you to do business with you. Also, your website should list your services, certifications, and if you're doing business with any type of government, they're going to want to know what your NAICS codes is. And a NAICS code is really just the identifier of your products and services. So for me, my NAICS codes are like 51411. And that represents me being a consultant. So if they're looking for my profile, if they're trying to understand what services that I provide, then that's going to be my NAICS code. And I have to write down, NAICS codes mean North American Industry Classification System. And so you can go to NAICS.com, tell it what you do. If you do notary, then you type in notary and it'll provide you what the NAICS code's in. And it's important that you have that on your marketing materials, your website, anything that you're trying to do, so that people like me who are buyers know exactly off top what you do. Also, just have a capability statement prepared as well. A capability statement is like your business resume. It's your business's resume. It's what you've done, what your company is about, how you're different than your competitors. It's also going to provide information just on, this is who we are, this is where we're located, this is our information, this is our email address. And you can pretty much format it the way you want to, but there are certain requirements when you're dealing with the federal government that they want to see. And we can help y'all with that too. So just having those things set up ahead of time, so when that big opportunity shows up in your inbox, you can go ahead and know that you're ready to start bidding. I'll pause here. Any questions so far? Okay. Well, the list is long and I'll go through it, but also making sure that you understand the language that they're speaking. I've worked in procurement for 20 years and I realized, we do kind of have our own language and people who are not familiar with it, they're like, what does all this mean? So you may get an RFP. That's a request for proposal. And typically requests for proposals means that they don't have to choose you based on the lowest price. They're choosing you based on the qualifications that you have to meet the need or the scope of work. An RFQ, now that can mean two things. That can mean request for quote, or it can mean request for qualifications. Typically, it means request for quote, and request for quote is just that. They just want to know how much you're going to charge me to give me this product or this service. And then there's RFIs. RFIs is just a request for information. Typically, an RFI does not result in a contract, but they're just asking you, tell me high level about your notary business. Tell me high level about your, consulting firm. Just let me know high level. And then we're going to take this information and we may or may not issue a RFP. You need to know what set-asides are. Again, get your business registered as, minority. If you're a veteran, they have specifications for that. They have all types of specifications. So those are earmarked contracts that you can utilize and win. So just know all the language of the procurement. So when you receive that document, you know what they're talking about. Again, we talked about certifications, so make sure you do that. And then, just a little side note, network with buyers. There are so many buyer events because I've tracked those too all over the country. The SBA sends me an email, and there are probably 30 events per region. So those are things that you can do to get in front of a buyer. I live in the Houston area, and they're going to have a huge event where you can actually bid on the spot. But people walking up there with nothing, they're probably not going to be successful. You're going to need your registrations. You're going to need your certifications, your capability statements. You're going to need all that, and you can bid right there on the spot. So there are different buyers. I would advise you to register with the SBA, and they'll send you a list of events in your particular area that happen pretty much on a daily basis.
I was gonna ask you if you could share that. I probably need to connect with you after that.
Yeah, sure.
I got so many questions.
Of course.
Half of this I've gotten done. I have my LLC. I'm doing my notary business under a assumed name. I got my bank account. I got the basis, but when it comes down to this could be a bit intimidating, like you said, if you don't know what any of these acronyms mean and stuff like that.
Right.
So I need, and it sounds like you're talking about kind of like a workshop or I know the small business thing is coming up on November 5th. And I'm wondering if that's what you were talking about. Small Business Expo is going to be, I'm in Houston too.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Well, I'm in Cypress, Houston, same thing. So I definitely want to give. Okay, let me shut up and let you keep talking.
Well, Tori will take your information, and we can definitely connect after. But beyond that, just making sure your business is together and well positioned and professional. You're ready to bid. You're ready to start putting your name in the hat for bidding. And so those are the most important things that you have. Obviously, the RFP, whenever you see one, is going to have different requirements too. But just making sure you have those basic things that you need to establish yourself as a legitimate business is important. As a buyer, I'm looking for that. And if you don't have those at a minimum, then I'm probably going to pass you by. And I'll tell you another secret. I was digging deep for small businesses to provide PR and marketing services. So I went into the SBA. I started to look for small businesses, and you would be surprised how many do not have a capability statement. And so if they did not have a capability statement, there was really nothing more I could do because I was looking for information on their business. And so I go into the SBA, look at their database, try to find a marketing research company in a particular region. We needed it in the Washington, D.C. area. And a lot of people did not have capability statements. So I had to pass them by because it's extra work for me to try to research what your company does and who you are and all that. So having that capability statement is important. Just some tips. Once you get your stuff together, you're ready to start bidding. These are just some quick tips on how to successfully submit a proposal. As a person who's read hundreds of proposals, there's been huge companies who sent proposals that were just horrible. And if you send a buyer, especially someone that works in the government, a big 60, 70 page document with marketing material about how great your company is, they're going to toss it to the side. So it's important that you understand what they're kind of looking for, which they will outline very clearly in the proposal. But just some other high level tips. One thing that I see, because I help clients through this process, a lot of them are fearful that, they don't know and don't understand what the process is, but also that they don't have the time. So I would always suggest allocate time to seek out opportunities as well as respond to them. And that means if you got to say, hey, I'm going to take 2 hours a week to go through these RFPs, determine which one I'm going to respond to, also take the time to actually put the response together, because it's important that, if you're trying to grow your business and, generate revenue, you got to take time out to do that. What I also suggest to my clients is have their RFP folder ready. So all your insurance, your certifications, your past performance, your referrals, because a lot of RFPs ask for referrals. Already have those on deck, already have them ready in a folder. So when you see an opportunity, you're not overwhelmed saying, well, I got to call this person and get a referral. I got to do this. I got to do that. You already have that together. I got to call my insurance agent. If you already have it together, it's just a matter of putting it where it needs to go in the response and sending it. I would also suggest utilizing a bid, no bid guide to determine if the proposal is worth pursuing. Because just because it meets all of your qualifications, or you say, hey, I can do this work, it may not be a good fit for you financially. It may not be a good fit for your employees. So you have to really understand what are the triggers that are going to tell you, yes, this is a good bid for me. For example, there was a bid that I saw. Perfect opportunity. Everything they asked for, I checked the box. Until it came to the pay. They wanted a pay for performance. And it was a city of Bartlett, Tennessee. And that kind of gave me some reservations because I've been burned before with pay for performance contracts. And pay for performance really means that if I do X, you will pay me Y. And that can get a little messy. So that was a no bid for me, because the money that I would have to take to go to Memphis, do the work in Memphis, stay there for a time, and then not knowing what exactly I'm going to get paid at the end, it was a no bid for me. So you have to know financially what you need to do for your business. And then leverage proposal templates. So there are plenty of templates. The SBA has a ton that you can utilize to help you respond to proposals. That can capability statements, even your website. They have all types of templates that you can utilize to just help you get things started. And then the AI tool stuff, I always discourage people from having AI or someone else ghostwrite your proposal, especially if it's a proposal based on the quality of service that you're providing, because only you can tell how great your company is. But nothing wrong with putting your proposal after you write it into Copilot or ChatGPT or Claude and saying, clean it up for me. Make sure my grammar is good. Make sure that I've met all, that I'm compliant. So nothing wrong with using AI to enhance your proposal, but I personally don't suggest you use it to just write the proposal and take it at its word and submit it, because we're going to know as buyers, we're going to know. And then utilize experts. Hi, I'm an expert. So if you need help with this process, I'm happy to give you help. So I see a question in the chat. Someone asked, Miss Barbara asked, I want to start a new business. How can your company help me? I definitely can help you and guide you onto where you need to go to start your business. The first thing I would suggest is the SBA, the Small Business Administration. That's where I went, and it gave me so much information on how to get started. It was almost overwhelming, but that would be the first place. Also, the SBA provides free mentoring through an organization called SCORE. And SCORE, they have them all over the nation. So you can actually have a mentor for free that can help you with starting up your business. So once you get all that started up, then you come see me when you're ready to get your bid. So I hope that answers your question, Ms. Barbara. So just like, Ms. Benson was alluding to, we know that there's challenges when you, want to face this RFP process. The jargon, sure, I'll repeat the website. Tori, can you put in the chat sba.gov? It's just sba.gov. That's the website to get the templates and the mentors. But we know, again, it's a struggle. We know that sometimes you don't know where to go to find the RFPs. You don't know where to go to find these opportunities. And then all the terminology, the submission requirements. Sometimes you'll open up an RFP and it'll be 60 pages long. But half of that stuff you don't even need. You don't even need half of the stuff that they put in there. They're putting in a contract just so you can read the terms and see if you're able to meet the terms. So that stuff is not even relevant sometimes. So sometimes the RFP package, they have to put certain things in there to check a box and be compliant. But the main things that you need to read, we can help you decipher what's important. We know that businesses get overwhelmed by the process because it's time consuming, especially if you're a solopreneur or you have a small team like I do. just sitting down and going through it can be overwhelming. But once you get into it and once you submit one, the rest are easy. Trust me, I know. And then we know, like some businesses just are not ready. And that lack of readiness leads to lost chances. They can miss deadlines or skip great opportunities. So we understand what those challenges are. And so because I have that experience and because I, really have a heart for small businesses and want to see small businesses succeed, because when y'all succeed as small businesses, we all succeed. I actually created a solution that can help with this whole process. And it's called Total Optim-Bid. And Total Optim-Bid is basically, in a nutshell, it's a bid notification service and a coaching service. So we find and we send you bids as often as you like. We can do it monthly, every other week, or once a month. And then when you see a bid that you like, you call me and I'll coach you through it. So that's the Total Optim-Bid in a nutshell. We talked about all the benefits of bidding. And this is just some things that Total Optim-Bid tries to help you meet with those challenges that you may face. So if you want reliable revenue streams, I'm sending you opportunities. I send my clients opportunities every week, every 2 weeks. And I actually go in and grade them and say, based on your needs as a business, based on your business profile, I think this is a good opportunity for you. And this is how I think you should approach it. Actually, we look at over 200 industries and we customize all of our coaching and recommendations for your business. We can help you with federal, we can help you with state, local, municipalities, and private corporations. Because I come from corporate, I still have those connections in corporate. So we do have this service that is available to anyone that wants to try it. It's called Total Optim-Bid. I do have a heart for small businesses and I want to see them succeed. So all of my clients are small businesses. I even have a guy, he's just starting out as a construction in San Francisco, and we're helping him get his business established. So happy to help you. I don't know everything, but what I don't know, I have resources to reach out, like with the trucking stuff. So even if you don't want to do the trial, please link with me on LinkedIn, email me. I answer one-off questions. I'm happy to help. You don't have to pay me to get information. But we do have this great subscription service called Total Optim-Bid. If you want to sign up for the free trial, let us know, and we're happy to enroll you in that. And I'm happy to help. If y'all have questions, that's my information on the screen. You can reach out and let me know. I'm happy to help.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tips on how your small business can be successful with government contracting through our subscription service, Total Optim-Bid. See you next time.